Oliver the Otter and the Underwater Treasure. Once upon a time, in a river that flowed through a dense forest, there lived a curious and adventurous otter named Oliver. Oliver was known throughout the forest for his bravery and his love for exploration. He spent most of his time swimming in the river, diving deep into the water, and discovering new things that the river had to offer. One day, as he was exploring the river, he stumbled upon an old map that was half buried in the sand. The map led to an underwater treasure that was hidden deep in the river. Oliver could barely contain his excitement as he set out on a new adventure to find the treasure.
Little did Oliver know, this adventure would teach him an important lesson about the value of friendship and teamwork. So, snuggle up in bed and follow along as Oliver sets out to find the underwater treasure in Oliver the Otter and the Underwater Treasure.
Oliver the Otter woke up early the next morning, filled with excitement and anticipation about his new adventure. He carefully studied the map and set off downstream in search of the treasure.
As he swam through the river, he encountered many other creatures who were going about their daily routines. Oliver waved and said hello to all of them but didn't stop to chat as he was eager to find the treasure.
Suddenly, he heard a strange noise and turned to see his friend, Freddy the fish, swimming towards him.
"Good morning, Oliver," Freddy said, excitedly. "Where are you headed?"
"I found an old map that leads to a treasure hidden deep in the river," Oliver replied, showing the map to Freddy.
Freddy looked at the map and smiled. "That sounds like a fun adventure. Can I come with you?" Oliver hesitated for a moment, as he had always preferred to explore alone. But he didn't want to hurt his friend's feelings, so he agreed. "Sure, let's find the treasure together." Oliver the Otter swam deeper into the dark underwater cave. The water grew colder and the current stronger. But Oliver was determined to find the treasure he had heard so much about. As he swam deeper, the walls of the cave began to sparkle, and he realized that he had found something special. The walls were lined with glittering jewels, and at the end of the cave, Oliver could see a treasure chest. He knew he had to be careful not to get too excited, as he had to be cautious of any traps that may be guarding the treasure.
Oliver slowly approached the treasure chest, checking for any traps along the way. He looked around and saw no sign of danger, so he slowly reached for the chest. As he opened it, a bright light shone out, and he shielded his eyes. When the light faded away, he saw a beautiful pearl necklace and a note that read, "This treasure belongs to the ocean. Please take care of it and keep it safe." Oliver knew he had to keep this treasure safe and find a way to share it with his ocean friends. Oliver knew that he couldn't just keep the treasure for himself. It belonged to the ocean, and he needed to find a way to share it with his friends. He swam back to his friends, with the treasure in tow, and excitedly told them about the underwater treasure he had found. His friends were thrilled and curious, but also worried that keeping the treasure could lead to danger from other sea creatures.
After some discussion, they came up with a plan. They would create a safe place for the treasure to be kept, where everyone could enjoy it. Oliver suggested a beautiful underwater cave he had discovered on his travels, and his friends agreed that it would be perfect.
Together, they swam to the cave and began to set up a system to keep the treasure safe. They built shelves and placed the treasure carefully on them, ensuring that it was visible to everyone who visited. They also made sure to put up signs and warnings to prevent any curious sea creatures from accidentally getting hurt while trying to examine the treasure. With the treasure now safely stored, Oliver and his friends decided to organize a special celebration to share it with the entire ocean community. They invited all of their friends and neighbors, and even creatures they didn't know well, to come and marvel at the beautiful treasure. And as they all gathered together, Oliver felt proud of his bravery in finding the treasure, and even prouder of his friends for helping him keep it safe and share it with everyone. The group of friends swam for hours, exploring the depths of the underwater cave. They encountered all sorts of creatures, from tiny schools of neon fish to enormous octopuses. They even saw a family of sea turtles lounging on a sandy bank. As they continued on, they noticed that the tunnel was starting to narrow. Oliver began to feel a little nervous, but he didn't want to show it in front of his friends. Suddenly, they reached a dead end. "Well, that's that," sighed Jax, looking around disappointedly. "I guess we didn't find the treasure after all." Oliver was about to agree when he noticed something odd. A small crevice in the rocky wall seemed to be emitting a faint glow. He pointed it out to his friends, and they swam over to investigate.
As they got closer, the glow became brighter and more distinct. And then, to their amazement, the crevice widened into a large opening. They peered inside and gasped in awe. There, in the center of the chamber, was an enormous treasure chest, filled to the brim with glittering jewels and precious metals.
Oliver and his friends had found the lost underwater treasure at last. But their adventure wasn't over yet. They still had to figure out how to get it back to the surface without getting caught by the sea creatures who guarded the cave. Oliver and his friends continued their journey, swimming through the dark and murky waters. The deeper they went, the harder it was to see, but Oliver's curiosity kept him going. Suddenly, he spotted something shiny glimmering in the distance.
"Look, guys! What's that?" he exclaimed, pointing towards the shiny object.
His friends squinted their eyes and swam closer to get a better look. As they approached, they realized it was a treasure chest. "Wow, a treasure chest!" said one of Oliver's friends.
"We have to open it and see what's inside," said another, but Oliver hesitated. He remembered the warning his mother had given him about taking things that didn't belong to him. He knew he had to think carefully before making a decision. The group swam deeper and deeper, their eyes fixed on the rocky floor. Oliver was starting to feel nervous, but he didn't want to let his friends down. Suddenly, they heard a sound. It sounded like someone was singing. They swam towards the source of the sound and found a group of colorful fish gathered around a large clam. The clam was open, and inside was a shining pearl.
Oliver's eyes widened as he saw the treasure. He knew he had to have it. He tried to grab it, but the fish quickly swam away, blocking his path. Oliver didn't give up. He tried again and again, but the fish always blocked his way. Finally, one of the fish spoke up. "You can't just take the pearl. It's not yours. But I want it." Oliver protested. "You have to earn it," the fish said. "There are many dangers in the ocean. If you can prove that you are brave and can face these dangers, then the pearl is yours."
Oliver thought about it for a moment. He knew that he had already faced many dangers on his journey to find the treasure. But he also knew that there were still many more to come. He took a deep breath and said, "Okay, I accept your challenge."
As they swam closer, they could see the treasure chest clearly. It was made of shiny silver and was locked with a big golden key. Oliver's heart skipped a beat. He had never seen anything so beautiful in his life. Oliver and his friends tried to open the chest, but the keyhole was too small for them to turn the key. They were disappointed and didn't know what to do. Just then, they heard a soft voice coming from behind them.
"May I help you with that?"
They turned around and saw a wise old turtle swimming towards them. The turtle had seen many things in his long life and was known to be very wise. Oliver and his friends explained their predicament to the turtle. The turtle smiled and said, "Don't worry, my friends. Let me take a look."
The turtle examined the keyhole and then took out a small tool from his shell. He worked on the lock for a few minutes and then with a click, the chest opened.
Oliver and his friends were overjoyed. They had found the underwater treasure. The chest was full of beautiful pearls, golden coins, and precious stones. Oliver thanked the wise old turtle and they all swam back to the shore with their treasure. As they reached the shore, Oliver realized that the treasure was not as important as the adventure they had just gone through. He hugged his friends and thanked them for being brave and loyal. Together, they had found the treasure and created unforgettable memories. Oliver realized that he was not only lucky to have found the treasure, but also to have such amazing friends.
They all said good night to each other, and as they drifted off to sleep, Oliver knew that he would always treasure this adventure and the friendship he had with his friends.
Good night to all the children listening. May you have sweet dreams and exciting adventures of your own. Oliver and his friends had successfully found the treasure, but they learned that true treasure lies not in gold and jewels, but in the joy of sharing the adventure with friends. They all swam back to their homes, happy and content, excited to share their story with their loved ones. As you drift off to sleep, remember that adventures are best enjoyed with friends, and the greatest treasure is the love and happiness shared with those around you. Good night and sweet dreams.